In your opinion, what's the difference between leadership and management? Tell me about a time you handled a difficult problem or a crisis. Why do you feel like you're a good fit for this role in this company?
It's time. You've got the experience, and now you're applying for a senior role. But are you ready for the interview? The good news is, they usually follow a similar format to interviews you've had before. But for senior positions specifically, more buy-in is required from the company, especially if you'll be managing people. The interviews might be longer, there may be more rounds, and you might interview with more people at higher levels in the company. And finally, you might have to do an assignment or give a presentation. But you've got this. The questions asked might also be similar to what you've experienced, but when you're going for a more senior position, the content of your answers will be different. Let me show you what I mean.
Tell me about yourself. Why do you feel like you're a good fit for this role in this company?
Well, I have always been interested in how things work. So for the last 5 years, I've been working as a software engineer. In my current role, I code mostly in Ruby, but I've also used all of the JavaScript framework as a full stack developer. And I just feel like, I have a lot to give back, and I'm really excited for this growth opportunity.
Now, listen to the same person answer this question, but with the mindset of a senior manager. See if you can hear the difference.
Tell me about yourself and why you're a good fit for this role in this company.
Well, I have always been interested in how things work, which is why for the last 5 years I've been working as a software engineer. And when our team's manager actually had to take an unexpected leave, I had the opportunity to take on some higher level responsibilities, and I really enjoyed it. I had been really focused on just my individual tasks like code reviewing, but then I was checking in with sub-teams, I was tracking progress, I was updating senior leadership, I was providing feedback to my colleagues. So now I'm really looking for an opportunity where all of those responsibilities are part of my daily experiences, and I feel like that's something that might be in line with your company.
Fantastic.
Same question, but two distinctly different answers. The first emphasized technical skill, work ethic, content mastery. These are amazing qualities for all employees to possess. The second response also focused on the mindset required of someone in a senior position. It wasn't, I want this role so I can grow. It was, I've done this work and I have a vision. That's why I want this role.
In your opinion, what's the difference between leadership and management?
That's a great question. I believe that workplace culture is really important, and there are leaders and there are managers. And for me, the way in which I feel like I have been able to demonstrate leadership is by turning in, high quality work on a deadline. And people know that I am not proprietary about my work, so my door is always open. So I really try to lead by example.
That's a really honest answer. But the question wasn't how have you shown leadership? It was, do you understand the difference between being a manager and a leader? This is your opportunity to show you know what it takes to not simply manage a project, but lead a team, even if you haven't done it before. Check this out.
Are you using the Indeed mobile app? The app is free and makes it easy to apply right from your phone. Click the link below or just search Indeed in the App Store.
In your opinion, what's the difference between management and leadership?
Oh, that's a really good question. Obviously, they share a lot of similar traits. To me, management is really about the content. It's about managing programs and projects, whereas leadership is really about inspiring and empowering people to do their best. So I've had to work horizontally across teams, getting people to agree to the same goals, getting people to then meet those goals. So to me, it's having a shared vision and then helping them perform. That is when leadership and management are really in tune with each other. And I have some ideas about how to do that here.
First off, this is an answer to the question that was asked. Second, sharing a specific example about working across teams to meet goals is a terrific strategy. It's aligned with the job description's responsibilities and shows that you do have relevant experience, even if you haven't been a people manager before. And third, I love how they ended by emphasizing that they're excited and have ideas. In other words, they have a vision.
Tell me about a time you handled a difficult problem or a crisis.
I think that the biggest challenge for me in my current role is meeting all of my deadlines is really predicated on the work of a lot of other people. I mean, we're basically an assembly line. So for example, a few weeks ago, I was waiting on sketches to be approved by the graphics team, and we had to have them in by the end of the week or we weren't gonna make our deadline. So I reached out to the team, and then as it turned out, the holdup was actually with the legal team. So I reached out to them, and I was finally able to get the project back on track, and then after a lot of sleepless nights, we made our deadline.
Okay.
There's a lot to like in this answer. It shows that even as a junior employee, the person is not afraid to roll up their sleeves and work across teams. It shows that they've strategically invested in relationships across the company. But this candidate stopped short before explaining how this experience would influence their approach in this new senior role. Whenever you're asked a question about your past experience at a company, it's best to connect that back to the role you're interviewing for. The person interviewing you is trying to connect those dots, so try to make it as easy as possible for them.
Tell me about a time that you handled a difficult problem or crisis.
You know, I feel like for me in my current situation, the most difficult thing is actually delivering things on time because it's predicated on so many other people meeting deadlines. And really, until recently, we did not have a full bird's eye view of the project. You know, our graphics team, we weren't able to go to print because they didn't finish their work. And I know a few people on the team, so I reached out to them. I dug into the problem, and we found out that it wasn't actually the graphics team, it was the legal team. So I reached out to the legal team, and I was able to get the project back on track. So instances like this allowed me to create a more transparent process so that we don't have to have these roadblocks, which would then negatively affect the project. And here, I would really like to implement that process. I wouldn't need to lead that process. In fact, I would really like to find someone on the team who I could potentially empower so that they could, you know, develop their project management skills.
Fantastic.
Interviewing for senior positions requires a mindset shift. If you focused on isolated examples in the past, now you want to take a step back and show how you see the big picture. And if you focused on being self-directed and autonomous in the past, now you should focus on your ability to delegate responsibilities and help a team meet deadlines. If you're watching this video and thinking that you haven't yet had the right experiences in your current role to prepare you for a senior position, then it might be best for you to carve out opportunities over the next 3 to 6 months that will demonstrate your leadership capabilities. Then you can speak with authenticity, not just with aspiration. And if you're watching this video feeling unsure if you can ace that senior interview, remember, it's a mindset shift. Think about your vision as a leader, connecting your past to where you want to go. Thanks for watching. You got a big interview coming up? Don't worry, I got you. Like and subscribe for more tips and tricks.
I didn't answer your question though, did I?
No.
Okay, all right, I'll go.
Get out.
I'm just gonna see myself. I'll take this.